Today, we're taking on sections 4 through 1 of the Mid-Atlantic Backcountry Discovery Route, from Antietam to Damascus, nearly 600 miles over 4 days, with more road miles than we typically prefer and a much larger group. This was a different trip, to say the least. Over the next 4 days, we'll be taking on the Mid-Atlantic Backcountry Discovery Route. We're starting this trip off with 6 rigs and more kids than we know what to do with. The MABDR is a nearly 1,100-mile route running from Damascus, Virginia to the New York border. However, we've decided to break it up and do sections 1 through 4, starting at the Antietam battleground and ending in Damascus, Virginia.
Imagine a battlefield like this where we're retreating a couple hundred yards and you were safe from rifle fire.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, that's what I was talking to Kevin Hagen about. Is it's wild to think that, the mentality back then was we would fight during the day, and then at nighttime we would stop fighting and go over there to our camp, and they would go over here to their camp.
See you guys in the morning.
You could literally see each other's campfires.
What time does the fighting stop?
Chow time.
School's out at like 5 o'clock.
Hey, we got a birthday party. Can we get a 30-minute late start tomorrow?
After Antietam, we were able to officially start our route. The MABDR is a mix of gravel and backcountry roads, which allow us to cover more ground than we're used to. And soon, it was time for lunch and a quick trail repair for our friends Kevin and Yvette. What are you repairing?
My swing out arm is not actually off of this vehicle. It's actually off of a Passport. I put 1/4-inch steel plates inside and bolted them to it, but I did not take time to reinforce this, and so the
it's stripped out.
Sheet metal screws have pulled loose and must now be reinforced.
What's the plan?
I've got bolts.
Okay.
I'm going to run through. I can reach in from the inside and put a bolt and a nut and a lock washer on it. That'll hold till we get back.
Good. Unfortunately, this wasn't the first or last trail repair of this trip.
All right, here we are, folks. The very first moment of our adventure. We're replacing the alternator on the FJ in the parking lot of AutoZone. We were 3 minutes from our destination when all the lights came on, and the battery light came on, the voltage dropped. And we've already got to start here before I remembered we should do some video. So I am expertly holding the flashlight while my brother Sean does all the hard work. All right, I've got the last nut done. There it is. Hero of the day. We got a little snow blowing here in, where are we at? Hagensville? Hagertown. Notice Sean's wearing shorts in the snow. It's shiny and new. All right, we're trying to figure out how this new one goes in there. I gave Sean some helpful advice, but he didn't seem to love it. Jesse's gonna fire me whenever he sees my video quality. You about done? I'm getting cold out here.
I got faith. It's gonna go.
Huzzah! All the warning lights are off. All right.
After our first, second, and third campsite options fell through, we ended up here. We all prefer primitive camping, but all it takes is a locked gate, someone else getting there first, or even having too large of a group to put you back on the hunt for a new site. Night 1 was cold and windy, and it proved to be too much for some of our group, as we'll find out in the morning.
Still trying to figure out how I prefer.
Saturday morning? Is it Saturday?
I thought that I was the only one that had one of these. These things are awesome.
It's Saturday morning, and we may have our first casualty. We woke up this morning and TJ and Jessica, TJ and Jessica are no longer here. Yeah. We don't know. Maybe they just went. Maybe they went for a Bojangles run, and they're going to bring us all biscuits. But we haven't heard anything from them, so who knows? We're just going to carry on to the plan of the day, and if they don't show up,
Liked it too much then.
We'll do okay with it.
it's time for some early morning camp science. We're trying to thaw out our frozen water spout. Water that's been sitting here all night and not frozen. This isn't working.
If you got water, don't let them. Melt.
Shortly after breaking camp, we made contact with TJ and Jessica. After a frigid night in the back of their truck, they decided they were not quite as prepared as they thought and made their way home in the early morning. The MABDR is one of many routes planned by the Backcountry Discovery Route organization. They are a non-profit that creates off-highway routes for dual sport and adventure motorcycle travel. They do extensive volunteer work as well as a heavy focus on rider education and safety campaigns. While they plan these routes primarily for motorcycle travel, they are all public roads, which means they work just as well for us in trucks. However, we try to keep our motorcycle brethren in mind and make a point to not tear up the roads and make ruts any worse than they already are. Whose table is this?
John,
I like it.
there's a Coleman version that's identical but costs twice as much.
Of course. We left Kevin alone for 5 minutes. While the adults do their best Tarzan impressions, the kids are entertained by simpler delights. As it turns out, you just can't beat throwing rocks into the water. Alright, so we're in the Brandywine General Store, getting some last minute provisions. It's one of the best parts about this route are all these cool little stores. You know, a little bit of everything. We're gonna see what we can find, maybe get some knickknacks.
Oreos.
trinkets.
Because we do s'mores right.
I don't know. I don't eat marshmallows because in 1984, a giant marshmallow destroyed New York City. So I'll never eat them.
Summertime back in 1993. I untangled the wires, and it took quite some time. But when I hit the switch, there you stood. We were miles apart, but then I traveled through the dark, following lights that led to you.
Before we made our way to camp, some of our oldest friends, Kevin and Yvette, had to make their way home. We loved having them along and hope for many more adventures with them in the future.
We're Kevin and Yvette Hagen, and we have known Jesse for many years. And I've been into overlanding for probably 15 years altogether. Built out my very first Toyota truck a decade and a half ago, and have been doing it off and on ever since, mostly Subarus. It's a way to get out and enjoy the world without financial responsibility, without relying on anybody else. See some beautiful countryside and see all of creation. It's just a beautiful thing.
No, what he said.
Ditto.
But it was really hot.
Yeah, you and I were chatting about overlanding one day, and I sent you a link to the trail to ask if you'd heard of it, which was awesome, by the way. Some great stops. Man, the countryside was beautiful. The waypoints were beautiful. Brandywine was cool. You know, not everybody has been to Brandywine, so I really had a great time.
I did, even though it was really cold last night.
It wasn't cold in the truck, though.
No, we learned how to be prepared.
Yep.
So.
Too cold if you're prepared.
And now that it's warming up, you guys are heading out.
Now we're going.
Yeah, it's nice. Now we're leaving. We're not putting up on any of this warm weather stuff.
No challenge in that.
Right.
At Meadow Knob, the kids find the perfect climbing tree, while Kevin and Casey have more pressing matters to attend to. Again.
You got two and I got two.
Oh.
Okay,
Well,
so
actually, I have like 8 extras. Never mind.
I'm sorry. What? Fill me in.
His yeah.
So where did that?
His trailing arm bolt came off, or not came off. Last time we were here in this exact same spot, actually right there.
I'm just not strong enough.
The bolt was half out after we were playing in the mud, and we almost lost the bolts. And back then we didn't have spares, so we didn't know what we were gonna do. I'm very confused.
Yay!
Oh, that has a washer. Give me this. You take that side and tighten it down from that side.
Well, there's a problem.
What?
This is bent.
You mother trucker.
And I don't think.
You mother trucker. Oh, okay, fine.
Sorry
I'll
to
just
ruin your
fight it. It's fine.
Kevin,
You know,
what would you do if you came out here and something was simple?
I don't know what I would do if I didn't have to fix your truck. It would be not an overland trip.
With a piece in my hand and bloodshot eyes, I walked to the water for a last goodbye. He begged so much, it clouded my mind. One thing's clear, the man's gotta die. Might makes right, so he said, when he held all the keys over our head. I lived in that grip, but now he'll learn at the end with the tables turned. Lord, forgive me. Take me on down the river where the kids can't find a red-handed sinner. On where the grave can't cry out, 'cause I done wrong. Down the river with a hand on a Colt and a finger on the trigger, and long before dawn they try to find me. So take me on down. riverbank, caught a boat sap, took off like a hurricane. With spotlights, dogs, hit the whole 9 yards, of breathing down my neck and breathing hard. 2 weeks in a wild chase across the highways, mountains, over 7 states. Found a man at the harbor, said that he could take me across the oceans on a far away. Love to keep me.
All right, we're at camp at a decent time. We've had to share it, luckily, with this couple over here. But they're super awesome. They're a somewhat newlywed couple. This is their first overland outing. So they're excited to see us here. We're excited to talk to them about overlanding because it's what we love. But first of all, we missed our opportunities to get firewood while we were driving through some towns. And so now I'm going to trek down here into the woods to see if we can find some standing dead to take down and cut up. Here we go. Don't carry the whole thing, just drag it. Put it down. As we close out the evening, we settle in to what turns out to be the coldest and windiest night of this trip. Well, here we are again, Meadow Knob. Such a great place, but it's like, you know, nothing's perfect. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. This is the second time where, again, amazing views in the morning. I don't know if you can see the sun just peeking through these clouds in the background. More importantly, can you hear the wind? Because that's what we dealt with all night long. Tremendous winds. We made the mistake of not staking down our awning, so it was flipped up over top of the truck in the middle of the night. Okay. It's a little windy. That's what I'm trying to say. Stake your stuff down, guys. Alright, so once again, Meadow Knob was super windy, so we didn't linger around. Sorry you guys didn't get to see too much of that, but we were ready to just pack up and get out of the wind. So now we're on the trail back. Now, it should be noted, this has gotten me in a bit of trouble. When we did this portion of the trail for our Allegheny route, this section was, I mean, it was not quite a dirt road, but I wouldn't call it off-roading. Now, things are a bit different. Here in just a few minutes, we're gonna probably have to put it in 4-low and get up the rocks, which is fine for us. And all the vehicles here can do it. Some of the ladies aren't too happy. So, what can you do?
Not me. I want to drive.
All right, so here we go. What day is it? Sunday?
Is it?
Yeah, Sunday. Let's get Sunday underway.
You're on ground. See, you're good. You got it. Just go. You're solid.
Can you believe we came to Meadow Knob 2 months ago and didn't come up here? This spot is amazing. If you are ever in the area, Reddish Knob. It's like barely an icon on the map. but as you can see, this is like max patch times 10. Sunday consisted of a lot of road miles with very few stops. So when it was time for lunch, we decided to stop for a bit and let the kids play while we stretched our legs.
Don't tell me I'm a baby. Keep my windows up. I still get dust in the truck even if I have my windows up and like the AC like in just recirculate.
Listen, calling people a baby is just part of my personality.
Oh. What happened? You guys ever have put those vehicles in those like giant baths that had crazy jets in them that people have told me about?
What?
They cleaned, apparently the Army cleaned vehicles by driving them into these pools, turning on these supersonic jets.
That's silly. The Marine Corps doesn't even give you a proper water hose.
No,
Our motor pool had wash stations, but it was like a huge water hose, but they just cut the end of it off. And you had to like squeeze it. It was stupid.
It's like a big hot tub for trucks. That's what they spend their money on.
See, if you word it like that, you're guaranteed to have the Marine Corps not invest in it because it sounds like something enjoyable.
Well,
Touch it! Tell me if it's warm! Is it warm? Yes! That's hot!
Alright guys, so we are at probably the best campsite we've ever stayed at. And it's not a free site. We hate campsites. We hate campgrounds. But so this is the Country LLC in Newcastle, Virginia. It's a veteran-owned campground of sorts, but it's not like a traditional campground. This guy has like 2 miles of farmland. And he has like 5 or 6 sites that he's dedicated along it. He gave us a great group rate. He doesn't even usually allow this many rigs, but he made an exception for us, and it is fantastic. More importantly, Daisy has pork chops and macaroni and cheese ready. So we're gonna eat that. We're gonna enjoy some great time with the family. The kids are just running around this field. It's finally, the weather's good. It's maybe 60 degrees. There's a light breeze. Perfect camping weather. We're super excited. This is a perfect way to close out our last night on the MABDR. Good morning. As expected, it is a beautiful morning. I'm waiting on the sun to crest over that mountain there so I can get some sweet footage of it. More importantly, started a good morning, a final morning bonfire to start the day. It's not even cold, but it's a little cold, but it's nothing compared to what we've been doing, so that's a plus. Today we have a bit of trail to go. The Cravens, I believe, are gonna hit the road today. They're gonna head home. It's Monday morning. It's understandable. We're gonna finish out the rest of the route, see if Kevin's gonna go with us, and we'll go from there. Good morning, babe. What's for breakfast?
French toast.
Oh, yeah. At the end of our trips, I always ask a few questions. Usually, which campsite was your favorite is one of them. On this particular trip, the answer was clear.
Setting up camp last night and just getting to hang out with everyone, that was probably my best. We all knew that the trip's kind of coming to a close, so we were all trying to enjoy ourselves and just make the best of it, so that was definitely it.
The best campsite, of course, is this one right here. Hands down.
Going to be the last one.
This one
Just
here.
because of the waking up to the owls hooting and the Canadian geesing.
This one,
Why?
because of the rivers and a lot of room to play.
It's a pretty cool beach area over there, isn't there?
All right, so that's a wrap on this campsite. This is the final day. I think it's just going to be us and Kevin. The Craven families have to get back home. So Kevin and our truck, we're going to head out, finish out the last leg of this. I've got to stop today that Daisy doesn't know about. We're going to stop at the hotel from Dirty Dancing, one of her favorite movies. She has no idea. Hey, babe. Where are we at?
Nobody puts baby in a corner. If you don't know what that is, don't watch the channel anymore.
Well, for the subscribers that we just lost, where are we?
This is where Dirty Dancing was filmed.
Did you know about this?
Did I know that we were stopping here?
Yeah.
No, I had no clue.
And why would we stop here, though?
Because it's like my favorite movie on the planet.
After our brief stop at Mountain Lake Lodge, it was time to finish our route and make our way home. Alright, so we're wrapping up sections 4 through 1 of the MABDR. We started with what? 6 trucks?
Yes, yeah, 6 trucks. 6 trucks, a couple, so a little bit different than our usual stuff. We had a Frontier, we had an F-150, but slowly everyone dwindled down and
All that's left.
the last 2.
So the next step is to start planning when we can finish the MABDR. From Antietam up until New York. Who knows when we're going to do that? Maybe later this year. Depends on what the schedule looks like. We got a lot planned for the summer though. So stay tuned for that. You guys take care. Remember, get out and explore.